quiet girl from London. She had always been curious about the world beyond her city streets. While her friends spent their afternoons shopping or playing football, Emma preferred to stay at home with her laptop, exploring forums, learning languages, and connecting with people she had never met. The digital world was her escape, her way of traveling without leaving her bedroom. Half a world away, in bustling New York City, lived Liam. Unlike Emma, Liam was outgoing in his own circles but always felt a little misunderstood. He loved technology, music, and meeting new people, but his closest friendships were limited to his online communities. One day, while exploring an international forum about travel and art, Liam noticed a new member who stood out, Emma. Her posts were thoughtful, full of curiosity about different cultures, and her sense of humor shone through even in written words. Started with a comment, "I've never been to New York, but it looks like a city that never sleeps. How do you even keep up with all that energy?" Emma wrote under one of Liam's posts. Liam replied almost immediately, "It's chaotic, but that's what makes it fun. London seems calm by comparison, right?" And just like that, a connection began. At first, their conversations were cautious, polite, and filled with curiosity. They asked each other about school, favorite books, and music. Each reply brought a small thrill, a sense that someone truly understood them. Over weeks, the conversations grew deeper. Emma shared her dreams of traveling the world, of learning languages, of seeing mountains and oceans she had only read about in books. Liam shared his love for photography, the streets of New York, and the small quiet parks hidden among skyscrapers. They laughed at each other's jokes, teased one another gently, and began to anticipate the next message, the next call, the next glimpse into each other's lives. But it wasn't all easy. Cultural differences crept in. Emma used British slang, which Liam often misunderstood, and Liam's American expressions sometimes left her puzzled. One evening, a small misunderstanding over a phrase nearly caused their first argument. Emma had joked, "That's rubbish," referring to a movie, but Liam, unfamiliar with the expression, thought she meant he was being silly. The tension lasted minutes, then dissolved into laughter when they clarified. The miscommunication, instead of pushing them apart, made them feel closer. They were learning, adjusting, and trying to understand each other fully. Months passed, and their bond grew stronger. They shared personal stories. Emma spoke of her parents' high expectations and the loneliness of being different from her peers. Liam shared the pressure of a competitive school environment and the challenge of living up to family expectations. The distance between them felt smaller with every shared secret, every laugh, every sigh sent across fiber optic cables and satellite signals. Then came the first gift. Liam mailed Emma a small package with a handwritten letter and a simple charm bracelet. Emma received it one rainy afternoon, and tears welled in her eyes as she read the letter aloud to herself. "Even though we're far apart," it read, "you make every day brighter. I hope this reminds you of me." She immediately wrote back, pouring her heart into words, sending sketches of her city streets and a small poem she had written for him. For the first time, they talked about meeting in person. Both were nervous. The thought of leaving the safety of screens and entering the real world together was exciting yet terrifying. They planned carefully, choosing a neutral city for their first encounter. Tickets were booked, and the countdown began. The day of their meeting arrived. Emma's hands shook as she clutched her boarding pass, the airplane rumbling beneath her. Liam, pacing nervously at the airport lounge, kept checking the arrival board. When they finally saw each other, the first awkward smiles turned into laughter. The distance melted. The online jokes, the shared dreams, the late-night calls, it all came alive in that single moment. Their first day together was filled with exploration. They walked the city streets hand in hand, discovering cafes, bookstores, and hidden alleys. They marveled at street art, shared food, and captured memories with photographs. At times, cultural differences emerged. A menu item confused Emma, and a local custom puzzled Liam. But instead of conflict, they laughed, learning to navigate each other's worlds. Evenings were quieter. Sitting by a fountain, watching the sunset, they talked about their fears and hopes. Emma admitted her anxiety about long-distance love, and Liam confessed his worries about being too dependent on digital communication. They promised to trust one another, to communicate honestly, and to always remember why they had started their journey together. The weeks together felt like months. Every day was a new adventure, but the looming reality of returning home was always present. On their final day, they sat in a small park, hands intertwined. "I don't want this to end," Emma whispered. Liam squeezed her hand. "It doesn't have to. Distance is hard, but it can't break us." Returning home was bittersweet. They waved from the airport gates, hearts heavy but spirits light. In the weeks and months that followed, their love grew stronger despite the distance. Weekend video calls became rituals. Care packages and letters flew back and forth across the Atlantic. They explored each other's cultures further, learning recipes, traditions, and languages. They celebrated each small achievement together, shared disappointments, and supported each other through exams, family pressures, and daily life. Through the challenges, they discovered patience, resilience, and the beauty of true connection. Misunderstandings happened, but they talked through them. Moments of sadness were soothed with laughter and shared memories. The distance, which once felt like a wall, became a thread, connecting their hearts across oceans and continents. Years passed. Emma and Liam grew, both as individuals and as a couple. Their bond, formed online, had survived time, distance, and cultural differences. They traveled together, visiting London, New York, and cities they had only dreamt of as teenagers. Each adventure reinforced their belief that love could transcend borders. One evening, as they watched the sunset over a quiet lake in Europe, Liam turned to Emma. "Do you remember our first video call?" he asked. She laughed, nodding. "I do. I didn't know then that we'd be here like this." He took her hand and smiled. "Neither did I. But I'm glad we trusted it." Emma rested her head on his shoulder. She thought of the long nights of messages, the misunderstandings that became inside jokes, the laughter that saved her from loneliness, and the courage it took to meet someone halfway across the world. Love, she realized, wasn't about perfect timing or the same culture. It was about connection, respect, and the willingness to grow together. Their story became a symbol to their friends and families. Emma and Liam often shared their experiences online, encouraging others to embrace love without boundaries, to look past differences, and to believe that distance could not weaken genuine bonds. Their tale inspired many teenagers who longed for connection beyond borders, giving hope that even in a digital world, love could be real, profound, and enduring. And so, from tentative online messages to life-changing experiences together, Emma and Liam proved that love is not limited by geography. It is built by laughter, patience, honesty, and the courage to meet someone where they are. The thread that had connected them from the beginning, a thread of curiosity, courage, and shared dreams, had become unbreakable. No matter the miles that separated them, no matter the cultural differences or the fears of the unknown, Emma and Liam knew one truth. Love, when nurtured with care, could indeed go beyond borders.